Top 3 pages starting.
Move the July meeting to the 7th.
Yes. 1:30.
Right. I don't see that John's been able to join us online. He did say that he was gonna be traveling, he would try to join us, but wasn't confident he'd be able to do so. He's traveling for work. I'm gonna go ahead and get us started. I'll order the session of the school board, the Pleasant Hill School District Board of Directors this Monday, June 16th, 2025. We'll start with public meetings. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. We're reading our mission statements. Our mission is to graduate all students with high levels of academic and personal achievement, ready for post-secondary excellence, and prepared for productive, passionate citizenship through research-based instruction and a collaborative system of support. 2.0 changes or additions to the agenda. I sent out an email earlier today in regards to 8.1 board self-evaluation. And suggested we table that until the July or August meeting. Anybody have any thoughts on that? Okay. The added benefit is, we'll have a higher chance of all 5 of us being here. So, any other changes?
You want to look at putting that on the August meeting? Thing?
Don't wanna be here very long in July? Yeah. Gonna what I was thinking, but wanted to be flexible. All right. We'll go ahead and have an introduction of our audience.
Michelle Reesberg.
Welcome.
Thank you.
West Cyber. West. 4.0 public forum. For those on site, during this portion of the board meeting, members of the public are specifically invited to present items of commendation and or concerns. At the discretion of the board chair, further public participation may be allowed at the time specific agenda items are under consideration by the board. See district policy DDDH. Those online. School district posts the upcoming agenda on our website, pleasanthill.k12.or.us, the Friday before regularly scheduled Monday school board meetings. This will allow for public comment prior to board meeting. Please click on the tab provided to share your comments for the school board to consider at the upcoming meeting. Personnel matters may not be discussed in public at a school board meeting. Members of the public who have personal concerns or commendations should share them directly with the superintendent, Mr. Grace. Do you have any public comment tonight? Maybe about how you got taken to a board meeting on day night?
Yes.
Oh, that would be personnel complaint.
Good point.
Should invite that. Wes,
No, I just hear a bunch of things
okay,
go with the process.
sounds good. We'll move on to 5.0 action items. 5.1 approved consent agenda. Note that the 3 items that are there, and make sure you don't have any questions, concerns, corrections. before we hear motions to approve the consent agenda? All right, I will hear motions.
Move to approve the consent agenda in its entirety.
Second. Been moved and seconded. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Passes unanimously. 5.2, approved personnel report.
Since that,
Oh, so go ahead, Jim.
we have two hires for you to approve tonight, license hires. First one is elementary teacher, so please recommend Mackenzie Thurman for hire as an elementary teacher. Mackenzie brings over a decade of classroom teaching experience across multiple grade levels, has a strong foundation in early literacy and student-centered learning and trauma-informed practices. She holds a master's degree in curriculum and teaching from the University of Oregon. As a collaborative educator, recognized for creating engaging structured classrooms that foster student relationships and academic growth. Throughout her career, Mackenzie has consistently demonstrated leadership, adaptability, and deep instructional knowledge. She has earned praise from administrators and colleagues for her calm presence, data-driven instruction, and ability to build inclusive classroom environments. Of Pleasant Hill, a parent of children enrolled in the district, she is deeply committed to our community and eager to contribute to its continued success. We believe she's an immediate asset to our team. In addition, it's with great confidence, I recommend Alan Stearns for hire as the next high school assistant principal and athletic director. Alan brings over 18 years of educational experience, including 8 years of successful administrative leadership. His professional journey includes serving as principal at South Albany High School, assistant principal at Willamette and Crestwell High Schools, where he demonstrated exemplary leadership in instructional systems, MTSS implementation, school safety, scheduling, and student success initiatives. Alan's strength in building trusting relationships with staff, students, and families complements his technical expertise in curriculum leadership and operational oversight. His commitment to personalized learning and inclusive access aligns seamlessly with Pleasant Hill's values and priorities. We are confident Alan will be an outstanding leader and advocate for our students, staff, and community. It's recommended the board of directors approve the personal action for licensed employees as reflected in this resolution and the addendum presented along with the resolution.
So, questions or comments, Alderman?
The personnel report, resolution 24/5, 254.
Second. It's been moved and seconded. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Passes unanimously. 5.3, consideration of additional staffing allocation for 2025-26 budget.
So we've got a handout of this one as well. Background, just bring everyone up to speed. So on May 19th, the budget committee approved the proposed 25-26 budget and passed a motion for the board of directors to consider the feasibility of allocating funds to add a 1.0 FTE licensed instructional position with an emphasis on reading intervention. And then during the June 2nd regular board meeting, the board discussed the request. A majority of the board members expressed interest in bringing the matter forward as an action item. So the agenda for today reflects two separate but related action items. The first one is item 6.3. That should be 5.3. We looked over this a couple times. Consideration of additional staffing allocation, and then the next item is adoption of the 25-26 budget. So the final adopted budget total and resolution language will depend on the outcome of action item A. So there's two versions of the budget resolution and appropriation summary that are included in the packet. And so the first item would be the consideration of additional staffing allocation for 25-26, and we have a proposed motion for you there. The fiscal impact of that motion, if passed, would be an increase of $143,000 from the general fund and a reduction of $143,000 from the fund balance. If that motion passes, then the general budget will be increased by $143,000, reducing the fund balance. And the revised appropriation will be reflected in the adopted budget. If the motion fails, it's recommended the board receive the budget adoption based on the budget as approved by the budget committee on May 19th. Then on page 2, we would have option 1 if it passes, and then option 2 if it does not pass, and then the accompanying budget resolution so along with that.
And just to clarify, nothing more than for the record, there's only two options tonight as opposed to the three that were discussed before, as a result of the straw poll that was taken during the last meeting.
Correct, yes, the majority, there's. Because people gave two options, there were essentially two majorities. That one was the 143,000, the other one was passing the budget as it is.
Do you have any additional thoughts?
Like I said, everything, yeah, so. Unless anybody has any questions.
Jennifer?
Say both.
I did follow up with Jim after our last meeting, continuing to weigh this in my mind, and I checked with him to see if, considering how many people we've had at board meetings, how many have availed themselves of an opportunity to meet with Brennan, to meet with Jim, to talk about this issue. My understanding, unless that's changed since I checked in with you, Jim, is that beyond the planned meetings that admin have had with the staff, that they haven't been approached separately by staff or parents to talk about this issue. And I bring that up because, and I think I kind of mentioned this during the last meeting, is the concern I have is this doesn't necessarily seem like the type of thing for the board to be doing, and specifically concern about setting a precedent for basically to cut superintendent out of the loop, where the board is being asked to supersede, to overrule, to modify recommendation made by Jim to the board, that the person we have to rely on to make those recommendations to the board, because none of us are knowledgeable in the realm of education. And so I want to model the expectation that concerns. I don't want to sound like I'm trying to discourage people from coming to board meetings. I just hope that if they're coming here, that the concerns that they're sharing with us, they've already discussed it with the admin, whether it's building principles, and they didn't get the answer that they like there, or wanted additional clarification, they talk to Jim before they come to the board, or in addition to coming to the board. I think we start getting into a realm where, well, I think a better way to put this is, I'm looking at this dollar amount and thinking of what, and obviously, again, this is not necessarily a board thing to do, but what's the most effective use of this money? Like, I understand we're using it to that our intention is to increase literacy skills with our students, to give them additional support for early literacy, which is one of our stated priorities here at the district. But is that the most effective way to do that? I look at, and this is just an example, I look at the studies that have done that show the impact that arts and craft, that music has when kids participate that in addition to their regular studies, and the impact it has on literacy and language arts and math and other areas, on attendance, engagement. And you think, I mean, we talk about putting that money towards the art department, towards the music department, buying more instruments, making it easier for kids to join in and be in the band. And you start going down that, and we're not the experts, and so we rely on Jim. And our pushback comes to where the recommendations you've made to us aren't working. And thankfully, we prioritize developing or adopting a way to monitor that a little bit better than we've been able to do in past years, and feel that that's more than the board's role than something that's a little more hands-on like this. So I'm mostly wanting to put that kind of stuff on the record. I know we don't have anybody here, but I know that there's been a lot of interest up to this point. And in case it's folks watching online or they're looking at the minutes, after this meeting, just voicing my, my thoughts and deciding how to move forward on this piece.
Alternatively. My understanding is there's two places the board gets to talk. Hiring the superintendent and weighing in on the budget. And the weighing in on the budget until it's passed, at least in my understanding is, it's on the table. So in this particular case, two things that I would just note, we're increasing the budget by $143,000, we're not telling them how to do it. Oh, well, we're increasing the budget for an FTE, not just increasing the budget, so that's important to me. That the board's not telling Jim or anybody else to hire a person. And I do think there is some value, I 100% agree. There's a fine line that we, and I'm, well, probably we're all of us are still learning to walk it. But where you do have folks coming in, specifically trying to help us understand something that we don't. And that having an influence on how we see the fiscal responsibilities that we have. This doesn't seem like I'm not arguing for or against a motion at this point. This doesn't seem like a frivolous thing to do for a board. So I appreciate the perspective and agree with much of it. There is some nuance here to me that I think is not unimportant.
I'll chime in on that and say. As a person. In society. When a big decision comes up. I see counsel from people who have had success. In whatever I'm trying, whatever I place. And. What we've had here is very wise counsel. I don't think it's said flippantly. I think it is said with students' best interest at heart. And I think that I also am not arguing for one way or the other, but I think it's good counseling. I think it's good information. I think it's very seasoned input and shouldn't just be pushed aside.
There's no further comments. We'll start with. Whether or not anyone wants to make a motion in regards to 6.3, or excuse me, 5.3.
Move that we approve. 5.3, additional staffing allocation, with the services.
On page 10.
55.
Bottom of that one, look.
I move to approve that the board of directors. Allocating her $43,000 benefit for one FTE licensed instructor position for 25-26 school year.
Second.
Been moved and seconded. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
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 Those opposed,
No.
nay. At this point, it's a tie. My understanding is that it doesn't pass.
Correct.
We'll say this, I do regret we don't have a full board, but I genuinely regret that. So that brings us to 5.4.
Before we.
Yeah, it's got,
What happens?
It fails.
I know, so now we're,
So now we move to 5.4.
so that's right, you go ahead and have it.
Great.
Thank you for that, appreciate it.
so any further comments or discussion before we can hear motions? There are any other comments? Go ahead and take this one on, move that the board of directors adopt resolution 2425.256, adopting the 2025-26 all funds budget in the amount of $33,616,282 and imposing and categorizing taxes as approved by the budget committee.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed? Is that a late aye? It's a roll up in aye, yes. Will the record reflect? Passes unanimously. Six reports and information. 6.1 principals report of the elementary.
Okay. Wednesday. So the first, we've got our attendance data as of the 10th of June. Regular attenders 80% with 333 students. And a couple of metrics there. The 24-25 average daily percent is 92.97, and then the 24-25 attendance by grade level is seen in the graph on the right. In blue, kindergarten at 93%, first grade at 92, second grade at 94, third at 93, fourth at 93, and fifth grade at 93. Their character trait for the month of May was teamwork, with students demonstrating teamwork by showing leadership and working together towards a common goal. They had their final Billy Spirit Assembly of the year. And then on Thursday, May 15th, Brennan and a few teachers were able to visit Elmira Elementary School to see their Star Renaissance testing in action. They were able to ask a lot of questions, came back with some really good suggestions. I think just hearing what was happening in their school set them up for success when we get back in the fall and implement the program in real time. Their end of year DILS data, you can see was represented at the bottom. The blue represents students that are going above, they're sort of beyond proficient. Green is the proficient level, yellow is just below, and then red is in need of intervention. You should have made some great growth in the blue from the beginning of the year to the end of the year, raising that category from 20 to 36%. The green category remained the same at 30%. Yellow reduced by 18 to 12%, which is a good sign, and red reduced from 31% to 21%, which is also a great sign. She reports they had a great end of the school year with the Billy Business Build Day and an inflatable race for the staff. Fun was had by all. I was able to get out there a couple times. An ice cream booth with some nice kids that were gave me some free ice cream. But it's always a great end of the year with the event that they have.
Did you rope the cat?
I did.
I just did some quick math, and that's about 70 kids who started the year below grade level and are now at or above.
not a small amount in this school
Not a
district.
small
size.
percentage in this.
Yep. All right, thank you, Jim. 6.2 principal report, for the middle school. And playing a part tonight for Caleb is Mr. Rusgaard.
Hi, good morning.
Good, how are you?
Yeah, excellent, thank you. Okay, I'll get through. It was hard to give a report that you didn't write. Congratulations to the April Students of the Month. 8th grade citizen of the month is Cora Flanders. Most improved Grace Wilson. Student of the month, Sienna Malik. Zade. What's that?
Alex Motti.
Malik Zade. 7th grade citizen of the month, Ella Blake. Most improved Cody Neely. Student of the month, Noel Kindle. 6th grade citizen of the month, Eduardo Morales Chun. Most improved Millie Alexander. Student of the month is Tessa Smith. Looking at the regular attenders by grade level, it looks like 6th grade was at 83%, 7th grade 68%, and 8th grade at 80%. From September to May, middle school attendance followed a clear seasonal trend, with the highest rates in the fall, particularly among 6th graders, followed by a decline during the winter months, most notably in 8th grade, a recovery in the spring for all grades. This pattern reflects a statewide attendance challenge, with winter periods when barriers like illness and disengagement are impactful. As far as the average daily attendance, for May was up to 90%. Academic report, semester 1 summary. This semester 2 summary. At the end of semester 1, a total of 29 students in 6th and 7th grade were failing at least one class, resulting in 58 total failing grades. It included 8 6th grade students with a combined total of 16 Fs, 21 7th grade students with a combined total of 42 Fs. The current performance overview, as of now, the number of 6th and 7th grade students failing at least one class remains the same at 29. However, the total number of failing grades has increased to 67, representing a 14% rise in failing course grades compared to semester 1. This includes 9 6th grade students with a total of 16 Fs and 20 7th grade students with a total of 50 Fs. With the addition of an instructional coach, the implementation of STAR assessment, and our collaboration with TNTP and continued partnerships with the ESD, we are optimistic that this data will show improvement in the coming year. These supports will strengthen instructional practices, provide more targeted interventions, and ultimately enhance student outcomes. Looking forward, 8th grade parents plan a promotion ceremony to celebrate the students on the evening of Monday, June 9th. As the school year came to a close, middle school students celebrated with an exciting end of the year activities. 6th grade enjoyed a festive Hawaiian luau on the last day of school with themed decorations, delicious food, and inflatables for a day of fun on campus. Meanwhile, the 7th and 8th graders went to Florence for the day. The day began with beach time at the South Jetty, followed by lunch and activities at State Park.
Right. Oh, go ahead. No, sounds good. Any questions or comments? That's where we can bring us to 6.3 principals report for the high school.
How you guys doing? So end of the year, hey, did anybody get a chance to go to that middle school graduation for 13 minutes? 13 minutes from start to finish, it was like, boom. Yeah, amazing, pretty fun, yeah, 13 minutes is only a high school graduation.
Maybe if the board chair didn't talk so long.
So end of the year, so obviously the high school, big deal, kind of end of the year is a lot of stuff coming at us. The end of the year went really well, it ended strong. A couple of highlights, there's only one senior, Frank, and we got called by the janitor, so Kyle and I were actually there cleaning up right behind them as they were making the mess. So
It was glitter, right?
oh, the glitter was hard to clean up, and they had
Oh, man.
about 200 hot dogs. They were just like put all over.
Oh,
We had
that's-
those-
that
we
one
had
I
those-
didn't hear about.
Yeah, so we had those picked up, so it's kind of like, they were like, Mr. Reeves, what are you guys doing here? We're not gonna be able to enjoy it. So we left kind of some of the fun stuff. They saran wrapped the gazebo. They put some of that streamer stuff around the hallways. They wrote on some windows. everything was okay and appropriate, didn't have to erase anything off the windows. So actually, the senior pranks was pretty good this year, that went well. It's a really cohesive senior class, 69 out of 74 participated in senior skip day. So we had 5 seniors on campus that day, and I don't know how long they were there, maybe they had a test or something they had to take, but they sure rallied around the senior skip day. Car parade went well, first year in 2 years, there was no airplanes or helicopters. So no pilots were graduating from the senior class, but if you're on the road to see that, it's always fun to kind of see what they had. Leading the parade, one of the kids had a tractor that literally got over 1.5 miles per hour. So I think we shut the highway down for over 20 minutes.
Waiting for them to trundle along.
Right, they're just like, yeah, it was like a Ford tractor, but it's like, I mean, my speedometer said 0. Inching up the road, but we made it there, but it was, I think, 20 minutes from the time we started to the time that we actually pulled into the parking lot, so it always amazes me, that it's not a highway for that amount of time. Senior breakfast, was a hit. A lot of kids, it always amazes me, the support that we get from the parents in this community. At last count, the senior class parents raised $130,000. For the activities for the day. So there was many gifts, door prizes, a little bit of cash handed out. They had an all-night party at Delaney Event Center that they went to after graduation, so everybody could attend that. And then there's about 50, I think it was 49 kids also left at 1:30 a.m. on Sunday morning for a 4-day Mexican cruise. And to my knowledge, I didn't get any phone calls. I think everybody came back. So I think that was a success as well. Graduation went off without incident. I think all of the speakers, including our board chair, did an excellent job at graduation. That was a very nice evening out of the field. So the biggest thing is, as anything as a high school principal, you probably remember, I think it was at the beginning of the 4th quarter, I came and said 21 seniors are failing at least one class they needed to graduate, which started me on my weekly phone calls to parents of kids who have an F that they need to go. So we whittled that 21 down to 6 with 2 weeks to go. So there were six of them with 2 weeks to go. The majority of them were taking classes online. They were kind of a combination of having to pass classes at Pleasant Hill, but also needing to enroll in online classes, some on their own dime, some parents on their own dime to get through that. And the last graduate scores were posted the morning of graduation. But I can say that every senior that was enrolled in Pleasant Hill High School graduated with a diploma on Friday night. We got them all across. And then no short thanks to Clarissa Anderson, who really, really worked hard. She spent most Saturdays here from 8 to 12 with a little counseling center full of students that were working on their online classes. So she really went above and beyond. That's a hard task to do. And I think we're all a little bit nervous. There might have been one or two that might not have made it across, but with Clarissa's help, we did get it really across. So that's the best thing about that week coming up to it. The other thing is that thanks go out to the parents. When you get harassed by parents, nobody wants to call on the Monday or Tuesday and says, hey, it's in the Spruce card, give me the call, still fail in a class, still need to get this up. But the parents, super supportive. And a large part to them also helping get those kids to get the work in, communicate with the teachers, teaching them how to get onto parent view. The grades are really trying to make it so there was no surprises. Nobody wants to don't hear anything from the school, and then in June, you get a phone call that something's going on. So they helped us out a lot with that. Our regular attenders kind of ended up attendance. It was 60% overall for the school, 9th graders 71%, 10th graders 61%, 11th grade 59%, 12th grade 45%. Our average daily attendance, on the other hand, which is always like, those are the statistics that always, the regular attenders, it sounds bad, but that's just the number of kids who attend 90% or more of the days. Our overall attendance, our average daily attendance for 9th graders was 94%. Our 10th grade was 90%, 11th grade was 93%, and 12th grade was 87%. So the average daily attendance was up. We just have certain kids that we need to focus on. I'll talk about that in a second, but we just have those kids that we need to get out of the parking lot maybe, or just get to school, find out what those barriers are for those kids. Like I talked, attendance policy enforcement is a priority next year. This year we tackled tardies, we got our bell system back up and working, and across the middle school, phenomenal results. Just having a bell for the kids to know when it's time. As we've been in our school during the day, I have a fog horn that goes off 1 minute prior to class, so the bells go off, and then it's just this obnoxious fog horn. And you can just see middle school kids sprint, you know, the high school kids, still kind of go to the marching with it, but it did decrease the number of tardies. Plus, we had an enforcement policy with our student success coordinator that would kind of bird dog those kids that have community tardies, and we pulled that. But next year's going to be a focus on, we're going to try to find those one-off, like if I can get the personnel. If I can establish that it's going to be someone who pulls attendance, and if you were missing just one class the day before or 2 classes the day before, we're gonna talk to you on the parent that day. So we're not gonna be just this abyss. Sometimes when you have a very effective tardy policy, it's less consequence to skip a class than it is to show 10 minutes late for class. So we just have to work on the backside of that. The big thing obviously that I look at, so I took a look right now where we're at for the grades being on track, and kids have enough credits to graduate on time. And our 9th grade class, there's 6 9th graders who have less than 6 credits. 3 of them have 5.5 credits, so still they didn't hit the 6 mark. So we have 6, which is 92% of our freshmen are on track, which isn't, our goal is 95%. Historically, we're in that 95% range for on track and freshmen, we're at 92%. We still have some summer school invitations to go out, so one of the thoughts were, and I know that one of those kids has been contacted, get those kids to come, those 3 kids, to come and take that 1 class over summer school, get them back up into on track, and then that would be 3. Our 10th graders right now are 96% on track. We've only 3 10th graders that are behind graduating on time, and our 11th graders are 92% on track or so. So right now, so as I'm talking to you in June, my number coming in next year is 4 seniors that we need to focus on, and then hopefully at this semester that doesn't grow. And it just kind of dwindles down a little bit. So a little bit maybe more optimistic as we go down that way. So all in all, fantastic year. I'm excited. Alan seems to be a great addition. I think he's going to provide a real instructional focus. So he has a good instructional background, and looking forward to getting him. And one thing that Jim in his description didn't bring up is that when he was the assistant principal at Presto, he was the assistant principal and athletic director. So we have a person coming in with that athletic experience. So that takes a little bit off the playground that, you know, this is how you turn a scoreboard on. This is where the PA system is. So we have sort of kind of hit the ground running a little bit. So we do have Kyle still for the rest of the month, and we have Kyle's already handed off the working file of all the stuff that he has, and then he'll be able to let him shadow him for a half day and show him where every clause and things like that. So, and I would be our little rep as well. So 2 sets of eyes for him. So you never want to be 10 minutes before kickoff for soccer ball being thrown out, or the volleyball game, the scoreboard's not working, the PA's not there, and nobody knows how to pull the pictures out. So we'll get that done for school starts. Great year, excited to do that.
All right, any questions or comments for Chris? Okay, hey, Mr. Rosegard, be excused.
We know you're busy, don't feel obligated to stay.
Fine. Is it? I'll have you
No. All right, 7.0 superintendent report, 7.1 summer school.
So summer school, we are ready to go starting July 7th. We'll run it July 7th through August 7th. Monday through Thursdays. Right now, the plan is to drop kids off, transportation, start breakfast at 8 a.m. and then have instruction go from 8:30 to 12:30. We had a great response by licensed staff. So we have a total of 13 licensed staff members that we've got work for. Quite a few of them, they're doing job shares, so they just work part of the summer. 2 of those positions will be site administrative type of positions as well. And then also 2 EAs that will be hired through Catapult. In addition, the district has hired 2 EAs that work this summer, and then we'll have 2 nutrition services staff as well that will be here for serving breakfast. Numbers wise, we're shooting for 60. 10 of those 60 would be high school credit recovery. And so Chris and Clarissa are working that group right now. So 50 between grades K through 8. Plan would be 35 elementary and 15 middle school. We are currently have 14 between grades 6, 7, and 8. So we're essentially full with the middle school. We didn't get any fifth graders signed up, so I figured the fifth graders are done with the elementary school for real. 3 fourth graders, 2 third graders right now, 6 second graders, 7 first, and then 4 kindergartners. Brenda's got an additional about 10 students that haven't yet registered as well. So once those 10 students register, we both have 4 kindergarten slate of individuals as well. So it's really exciting to have that opportunity for kids, and it was a quick turnaround. So happy to have the staff step up and help us with that as well. That's summer school.
And so the doing breakfast, is that part of the regular school year? Fund that we use for food service?
It is, and the SNAP program is kind of a convoluted mess. This program will, any of our students that are in the community that want to bring out breakfast, they will be open for them to have breakfast as well.
Whether or not they're doing
In addition to this, and we'll also have a summer meal program. I believe it's 1 day a week that will be here on site, and then we'll have a United Way program with Brennan Nice and our ROC coordinator will be running our summer reading program at the library as well, for a summer library program at the same time. We'll have an active school district this summer.
And that breakfast thing, sorry, that breakfast thing is the same days, July 7th through August 7th.
I believe, yes, we're gonna run the same days. Yeah.
And will that be both campuses?
Yeah, plan right now is to drop everyone off that's on the bus here at the elementary school, so they can go through and grab breakfast if they would like to have it. And then middle and high school kids will go down to the
So the breakfast will be here.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, just one side. And the same thing in the afternoon, middle and high will come back up to catch the bus here at the elementary school. All right.
Our program will do breakfast on those days, but the community program is I think you come in 1 day, you get a week's worth of meals. That's what we're really doing.
Gotcha. That's good to know. All right, any other questions or comments for Jim? Okay. We're postponing 8.0 or at least the board discussion for 8.1 board self-evaluation. Is there any other board discussion? Any 9.0 board communication? Any other business? All right. Brings us to 11.0. Our next meeting is July 7th at 5:30. Be a very brief meeting to swear in re-elected board members.